Today's video will be an album review of Enthrone Darkness Triumphant by DIMMU BORGIR. Welcome to Lair of the Lycan, aka the HQ Metal. Now, metal music to me is rebellion, expression, brutality, nonconformity, oneness, victory, and serenity. Enthrone Darkness Triumphant is the first studio album by Norwegian black metal band DIMMU BORGIR, released on the 30th of May 1997 through Nuclear Blast Records. It was the band's first release through Nuclear Blast, and this was also the last release to feature keyboard player Sian Arstad and the first with bassist Nagash. The personnel of this album is as follows: Urkajeta Selenos on guitars and vocals, Shagraf on vocals and guitars, Sian Arstad on keyboards and piano, Dav on drums and percussion, and Nagash on bass and vocals. DIMMU BORGIR are probably the most famous and successful black metal band in the world. Their origin dates back to 1993 in the city of Oslo. The name comes from DIMMU BORGIR, a volcanic formation in Iceland. The name of this formation means dark cities or dark castles / fortresses in Icelandic, Faroese and Old Norse. After releasing Overrated and wisely praised Stormblast, the band drew attention to Nuclear Blast Records, which became their label since the release of the legendary Enthrone Darkness Triumphant, an album which is by many considered a real milestone in the history of black metal and is praised by fans and critics alike as one of the best, if not the absolute best, opus by the renowned black metalists. This album where we start to appreciate the transition from melodic black metal style of the previous two releases to what will become the actual symphonic black metal sound of the band is widely known for. This is a turning point, and probably that's what it makes Enthrone Darkness Triumphant so varied and interesting, as the two souls of the band's most musical conception converge and blend together, giving birth to an absolute classic. The increased use of synthesizers makes a shift from the band's previous musical style. The romantic music influenced by keyboard scales and the melodies provided by Sian Arstad perfectly complement the rather technical guitar riffing and offered by Selenos and Shagraf, who at the time handled both vocal and guitar duties. The riffing is quite fast and relentless, mediumly technical, relying on mainly chords, progressions and tremolo picking. Although certain songs like Entrance and Succubus and Rapture, to name a few, the pace slows down to put a stress on the dark, gloomy, mystical atmosphere. The guitars, which are extremely distorted, sounding evil and haunting, and the keyboards, thanks to their wonderful arrangements, consisting mainly on scales, making up lead sessions or chords that set up the more general atmosphere, combined to craft a perfect combination of instruments for us. Shagraf, who's from this album on, finally found what would be his trademark style. Demonic screams and growls can shine. The drumming isn't as mind-blowing as would be in later albums, but it still makes for an excellent performance, fitting the music more than well and providing some interesting solutions. The bass is unfortunately almost impossible to hear. The CD's production is absolutely top-notch, exquisite, as the album sounds dark, evil, haunting, and not overproduced, but retaining the characteristic core of the black metal sound and not making it unlistenable or making it seem potato produced. Nuclear Blast really did an excellent job here. The song's lyrics deal with the themes of Satanism, sorrow, pain, and occultism. They are really indeed really well crafted, exquisitely written, somehow cryptic and full of arcane references. It is noteworthy that they are written entirely in English for the first time, and the band will continue following this trend with late outputs, save the occasional song in Norwegian language. Songs are all among the best stuff of the band's catalogue. The band performed the album in its entirety more times due to the quality of the material present in it. Immortal classics such from the album include the legendary unforgettable opener Morning Palace, featuring an unmistakable keyboard intro fantastic keyboard skills, and an interesting time signature change from 6/8 to 4/4. A passionate performance from Shagrath, instantly recognisable and memorable riffing and vocals. A fantastic crescendo towards the end of the song, and an alternation between furious and aggressive sessions and slower and gloomy and more evocative and atmospheric ones. Really, this might be the best song the band's ever written. Spellbound, again, great guitar work, fantastic keyboard and intro melodies from the great chorus and demonic vocals make up for the another instant classic. In-depth embrace, starting with a light speed combination of keyboard skills and guitar riffs that seem almost like chasing each other, leading to a few song lines and then to a piano dominated session. The furious relinquishment of spirit and flesh and master of this harmony, the heaviest songs on the record, featuring incredible tremolo picking and furious blast beat sections, an extremely elegant solo too in the after. Really, each track would deserve to be mentioned, for each has something special, unique and unforgettable to offer. This album had such a success that it propelled black metal almost in the world of mainstream music, thanks to its outstanding quality in terms of songwriting, inspiration and musicianship, to a strong promotional effort by Nuclear Blast and to some characteristics that made it more approachable even for those who aren't into this genre of extreme music. Written lyrics, great production, melodic elements created by keyboards, even the fact that the band logo was changed was now fully legible. Enthrone Darkness Triumphant is an instant classic, a master for an entire genre, and obliged to listen to any fan of extreme music for metal in general, and it's probably the best thing DIMMU BORGIR has ever done. Don't miss it for any other reason, and give it a spin if you haven't done so already. Even if you're not a fan of the band's newer material, you love it. This is by far the best DIMMU BORGIR album that I've ever heard. Every song on here is amazing. The music, the guitars, the synthesizers, the keyboards, the vocals are all innovative and amazing. This is a pretty symphonic album, but the riffs and aura is totally unique. The rhythms on here are simply amazing. I've not heard such amazing riffs, especially on Morning Palace, that one is an amazing track, but all of the tracks are equally good. The synthesizers go well with the music, they actually complement it. Careful orchestration. The music is the best to talk about here. Just the distortion-filled guitars make every track just amazing. They just knew what they were doing on here. They carefully paved the way for many bands to follow in their footsteps, and with this in existence, there's still time for the band to improve. It seems as though with newer material, they've abandoned their creative roots and lost a lot of fans. Not me, but I'll always be a fan of some certain albums. Maybe 4 or more of their albums, but this is insuperable. I don't know how they went from such a interesting band to making what they're making now, but it just happens. The quality was a little raw, but still awesome that you can still hear everything going on and it just all fits. I don't have any complaints for this release. They went from slowly progressing in their old albums to this one and then started regressing, but that's just the opinion of some fans. That being said, their music on here just slays. The guitar is likeable, the vocals as well. And if you're new to this band, it's a very good start. They're at their best on here, and the riffs just tear your speakers apart. It's an amazing album and an interesting band, but let the buyer beware with the albums. This is definitely a good album to start with. The previous are too raw. This one is raw, but the music steals the audience absolutely. You need to hear this release. It's so epic and dominates on so many different levels. If you just buy the CD or listen to the album in full, show the band that fans are still interested, especially those not exposed to their older material. This album is probably DIMMU BORGIR's crowning achievement, makes a notable turning point for the band from the dark atmospherically brooding works for Overrated and Stormblast. This album focuses much more on keyboard synth layout with a higher focus on percussive riffs, thus giving the music a heavier, more rhythmic approach than what the band explored before. Although DIMMU BORGIR have a lot of criticism levelled at them, some of them which are debatable, but most of which I still don't hold. But still, this album is definitely one of metal scene's highest points. It perfectly mixes the atmospheric brooding nature of the bands and early days with a more refined symphonic approach akin to their later works. It's their most melodic, accessible album and is a black metal classic no matter what elitists say. Enthrone Darkness Triumphant is essential. Now, some questions for you guys. What would you rate this album out of 10? What are your favourite tracks? Is the album underrated or overrated or just so-so? Like the video, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe to see the next video, which will be out on Friday.